that's all you see. Make it all about devotion. You say it like you wanna be.
Hello guys, Rami X back with another video, and Merry Christmas, I guess. This isn't necessarily a Christmas holiday special, because I didn't really plan for that, but this is just the end to What If Naruto Had All Dojutsu, and please consider hitting that subscribe button and telling people about the channel, because my goal is, well, we're 8 subscribers away from 300 subscribers by the last time I checked. So if we could get to that by the end of the day, that would be a nice Christmas present. Anyways, and there's a link to my Discord in the description below. And this is part 7 to What If Naruto Had All Dojutsu. We left off with basically all the characters I established as main characters becoming a family. That being Guy, Kakashi, Yugato, Killer Bee, Sasuke, Hinata, Naruto, etc. And we now skip to the Chunin exams, as every matchup goes the same, except for a few. So in this, Boruto is going up against Shikadai, but he also has his brother Genesis, Karin, and Sasuke's child together. As I've done this in another What If, my What If Kakashi and Guy adopted Naruto, which you should definitely check out. And all the other children that they have, their goal is just to train. So they're still watching this fight, but they don't really participate in these type of things because they're just leagues ahead of what I'm establishing here. Because all they do is train and stuff, and their goals are to be successors to Naruto, Sasuke, Yugato, Kakashi, Guy, Killer Bee, etc. And it is a free-for-all. As Genesis and Boruto then charged at Shikadai, as Shikadai caught them with the Shadow Possession Jutsu, as he then did the seals for the Shadow Strangle Jutsu, as they were then about to be disqualified, as Genesis and Boruto used the combined subtle Genjutsu, as the Genjutsu made Shikadai think that Genesis hadn't been caught by the Shadow, as it forced Shikadai into releasing Genesis. As Genesis then pulled out the sword he carried on his back, as Shikadai then realized it was a Genjutsu, as he broke 3, throwing 10 paper bombs at Genesis, as he then said, "Shadow Paper Catch," as his shadows forced him into being hit by a few of the paper bombs, which also increased Shikadai's range. As Shikadai then ran towards him with a kunai in hand, as he was still recovering from the blast, and stabbed him with it. A kunai at that. Also, people are allowed to kill in these Chunin exams, as Naruto can revive them all with the King of Hell, or run a rebirth if he uses KCM too. Also, he did this to revive the ninja he had killed and served with, and the ones that had been killed when he was younger. And yeah, back to the fight. Shikadai was also holding the shadow with no hands, which drained more chakra, as shown with Shikamaru versus Kakazu, as he then ran at Genesis with a kunai, piercing through his chest, as he then coughed up blood. As he then smirked, as his Uzumaki healing regeneration abilities kicked in, as he then punched Shikadai up into the air. Also, if you don't believe that this is possible, Naruto did it when he got punctured by a Chidori, and his genes aren't as strong as Uchiha and Uzumaki, because he has a Namikaze gene. Up into the air, as Shikadai then popped a chakra pill. Also, this Shikadai has been trained to be the successor of the Nara clan from a very young age, about 4 to be exact, and he strives to become a Kazekage because his mother, Tamari, is from the Kazekage clan, and he wants to make her proud, so he trains like most days to perfect his skills and whatnot. So he's just much stronger than his canon counterpart, if you were wondering why he's able to do such things like this. As he then landed on his legs, as he then threw 14 shuriken, as he then said, "Genesis, watch out." As Genesis then thought of why he was doing this, as Shikadai's hold on Boruto weakened, letting him free, as he then used his Byakugan, seeing through Shikadai's plan. Also, if you don't understand why this is possible, that Byakugan can predict years into the future. This is seen with Momoshiki and Boruto. It has a sort of force ability. And Boruto. Anyhow, he then said 3 o'clock, as Genesis dodged at the right moment, as he then did a backflip and used a form of body flicker, as he appeared on the wall of the Chunin exam stage. As he then prepared his strongest jutsu, which he had worked on for 6 years, as he then activated his Sharingan and bit his finger, forcing his body to activate the Uzumaki chain, as it came to aid him whenever his body was in danger, which blood can do, as he then rotated chakra around the chains. as everyone watched in awe, as his relatives, so people like Killer Bee, Naruto, Sasuke, etc., realized that this is what he had been doing with all of his time when he wasn't training. As he then put out his hand, as the chains then wrapped around his hand, and he said, Uzumaki style, devastating chakra, as he then wrapped the chains around them, as he then started to absorb their chakra, as Boruto activated his Uzumaki chains, but because he had no prior training with them, they then receded back into his body. As Genesis then smirked, as their chakra had been basically put on top of his, making his reserves much stronger, boosting his reserves overall, and basically winning, as Momoshiki then appeared in a full strength plus Genesis, Riku, Yugato and Killer Bee's daughter, Yukimaru, Karin, Naruto's child, etc. If you will, and if you haven't already subscribed, do that now, please, because I've been looking at the analytics and only 20% of you guys have, and girls, so just do that for me, I guess. Anyhow, they all then attacked Momoshiki with their parents, as people like Sakura, Shikamaru, Shino, Sai, etc. helped and rescued civilians, as Kinshiki then attacked Genesis, as Genesis stopping him with his Uzumaki chains. As he then said chakra overdrive, as he absorbed Shinchiki's chakra, which he has lots of because he's an Otsutsuki. As he then said chakra release, as he then threw Kinshiki into a wall, as his body was swarmed with chakra, as he then smirked once again, as his body manifested into something angelic, as everyone stopped what they were doing, even people who were rescuing other people, as he then said angelic tailed beast transformation, as he then manifested wings, and he was inside of a sort of chakra Susanoo, if you will, as he manifested a sword and chakra chains made entirely out of chakra coming out of his chest, as in his right hand was his sword, and in his left hand a shield, an additional guard around himself that replenished from absorbing the chakra of his enemies, as Kinshiki then started panting, as he said, why am I so tired? As he then said, the moment my Uzumaki chains touched you, the battle was over. As he then lifted his hand into the air, as he then said, Uchiha style, Kirin, as he created a chakra dragon, as he then said, die, as it was launched at Kinshiki, as Momoshiki then teleported from fighting the others to absorbing the chakra blast, replenishing him from the damage that they did to him, and gaining more chakra. As he said, why so much chakra? As he launched it back double the force, as he then blocked it with his sword and shield, as he then said, that was your mistake, giving me back my chakra and trying to absorb it, as Momoshiki then fell down onto his knees, as he then absorbed Kinshiki and stood up again with a prideful stance, as he then fell back to the ground of exhaustion, as Momoshiki then said, it can't be, how are you this powerful? As he then said, what is your name? He then replied, Genesis. And you? As he then said, Momoshiki Otsutsuki. As Genesis then said, say goodbye, Momoshiki, as his new body was overriding with chakra. And if he didn't let some chakra out, then he would gain too much chakra and he would basically never be full on chakra reserves. And the only drawback is basically that, having too much chakra. As he then said chakra swamp, as Momoshiki was then stuck in place, as he then said chakra arms, grabbing him and picking him up, as he then said chakra suffocation, as he then smirked as he clapped his hands together, as Momoshiki was then crushed, as he said, you will do well as a vessel for my karma seal, as Genesis obtained the karma seal. And now we switch to Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki. Naruto and Sasuke then started to battle Ishiki, as he then disappeared, grabbing Genesis, knocking him out, and returning, as he then said that he would be taking him, and he will be his new vessel, as an enraged Sasuke said, over my dead body, as he then grabbed Genesis and kicked Ishiki, as Ishiki didn't move, and he jumped back, as he then woke up Genesis, as Genesis then said, let me do this, as Sasuke and Naruto then poured their chakra into him, as he used a gold and purple chakra-tailed beast armor, much more powerful than the one he used against Momoshiki, as he then activated his curse mark, which he had learned to control, as his tailed beast chakra armor then got an additional guard and the karma mark on its arms, as he then said, Ishiki Otsutsuki, fight me, as he then kicked Genesis, but he caught it, as Ishiki then turned into a small particle, which he has been shown to be able to do in the Boruto manga. Anyhow, he then entered it and became large again, as Genesis then said, body manipulation, huh? how unique. As Ishiki then started to hand-to-hand combat with Ishiki in Genesis, while in his armor. As Ishiki then said, "You fool," as he absorbed all of the chakra around Genesis. As he then said, "You fool," as he then said, "Chakra explosion," as Ishiki's body was blown to smithereens. As Genesis then said, "Ishiki Otsutsuki, you shall now die," as he fell of exhaustion. As Sasuke and Naruto killed him, each obtaining a karma mark. As Ishiki was killed, and anyhow, due to the fact that we don't know how the story will progress in Boruto, this is going to be the grand finale, and if you want to subscribe, that would be appreciated, and if you join my Discord, we can interact over there and things like that. Anyhow, please like and subscribe, and this is the end of What If Naruto Had All Dojutsu. So I hope you enjoyed the series while it lasted. Well, it still could potentially last, but, well, I finished it. And as always, Rami X out.